Funding for Health Week is provided by the Teresa and H. John Heinz III Foundation and the Heinz Endowments.
Ahead on a special holiday edition of Health Week, gifts from the heart, people who've touched us with their courage and caring. A stroke survivor showing what it means to embrace each new day. That and more on a special edition of Health Week. Hi, I'm Cheryl Atkinson, coming to you this week from my home. It's the time of year for gathering with family and friends, and of course for exchanging presents. Of all the gifts we can give, perhaps the most important is ourselves, sharing our time, our energy, and our hearts to help make someone else's life a little brighter. This year on Health Week, we've met extraordinary people who've done just that, and today we'd like to revisit some of them. We begin with a stroke survivor determined to overcome the odds. At first glance, his is the story of so many who've suffered strokes, the long struggle to regain lost skills. But when Nancy Olson spent time with him, she found a man committed not only to rebuilding his own life, but to inspiring others to do the same.
Action and adventure have always been a part of Paul Berger's life.
I am Paul Berger. Good.
But at age 36, he found himself having to learn to speak all over again.
Paul Berger.
It was December 30th, 1985, when his life changed forever. Exercising at the gym one day, Paul was overcome with a blinding headache, unlike any pain he felt before. When his wife Stephanie arrived to pick him up, Paul was nowhere to be found.
Someone at the front desk said, he's at the hospital.
And at the hospital, Stephanie learned that Paul had suffered a ruptured aneurysm. A blood vessel in his brain had burst.
Curious. I just thought they would find the aneurysm, they'd fix it, and he'd be back to normal.
But it wasn't that simple. It took doctors days to locate the bleeding. After they were finally able to perform surgery, they prepared Stephanie for the worst.
And that's when it started to hit me that I was going to be a widow at age 32.
Paul, who had always been a fighter, was about to begin the most important battle of his life.
When he opened his eyes after surgery, the family learned there had been more bleeding, causing a full-blown stroke. The right side of Paul's body was now paralyzed, and he could no longer speak, read, or write.
A grueling schedule of therapy began immediately. Paul left the hospital after 3 months. He still couldn't walk and could only say a few words, yet he never gave up.
And it just took a tremendous amount of self-discipline, like an Olympic athlete.
Trains, probably like 5.
And meet Paul today, 15 years after the stroke.
You built each one of these buildings from scratch?
Right, exactly.
With one hand?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Paul's 51 now. His right arm remains paralyzed. He walks with a limp, and he still struggles to find the words he once knew.
Our arms, not good, so bad.
Paul is now resuming the busy life he led before. Unable to return to his old job, he's gone back to school and trained to be a computer draftsman, a job he could master with one hand. He now works full-time.
How come you didn't give up?
I guess because it's, because probably me, it's 36 years. So what then? Retired? No. So I guess that's why. So it's here now.
To encourage others to overcome obstacles, he and Stephanie have written a book about their experience.
This happened to me at 36.
And Paul also makes speeches.
With a good attitude and friend. You can set goal and do it.
As for the future, he and Stephanie are determined to embrace each new day. And his advice to others is the secret to his success.
Just do. Do.
I think we've learned to not look back. We've learned to appreciate the struggles that everyone goes through. And to really appreciate the good things that we do have.
So Nancy, what have Paul and Stephanie been up to lately?
Well, they are keeping busy. In fact, their book is being translated into Chinese. And Paul has written another book about pursuing hobbies with using just one hand.
He's a perfect example of somebody who's not going to let anything stand in his way.
Not at all. He has snow skied, he has water skied, and next he wants to try out golfing, all with just one arm.